All right. Hello, and welcome to episode
26.
of the Collective Podcast. With me, as always, is Erlynbebe the Queen, and I'm your host with the most, Weezus, aka Wheezy. And let's roll right into the topics.
Oh God.
Let's roll right into the topics.
So what are our topics for tonight?
So something crazy happened Sunday night. Did you hear about it? Did you watch it? I'm sure you haven't.
Talk about it too.
The memes are insane.
Oh my God! I saw somebody edit Will Smith as a Oscar when he was in that fish movie, and then Chris Rock as Donkey.
As Marty.
Yeah, from Madagascar. And
Would you
too much time on your hands.
Would you like to explain to the people what happened on Sunday night? Or do you not know the full extent?
I get it. I mean, he basically only slap Chris Rock because Chris Rock made a G.I. Jane joke because Jada has alopecia, or however you say it. I'm probably butchering it.
Yeah.
Lost all her hair. He thought it was funny, and then she decided to make a face, so he went up on stage, slapped the heck out of Chris Rock. I will say though, Chris Rock took it like a champ, barely stumbled. He stumbled a little bit, but like very stiff-handed slap though. Like that guy had no movement. He was just all arm and like some shoulder. That's it. Like it was just.
Yes. So the Oscars were Sunday night, and you get Chris Rock to go up there, and you know who Chris Rock is. He's a comedian. So is Will Smith, mind you. They're both comedians. Like 35 something years in the game, and they're friends. Like they're friends otherwise. So he's up there cracking jokes, like just picking people out of the crowd, like just putting his bit in there. And for people who don't know what G.I. Jane is, it was a action movie in the 90s about this girl who shaved her head. In the movie, I can't remember the full details of the movie, but it's about this girl that shaved her head, and she's just like a soldier. G.I. Jane. But he pointed out Will Smith's wife, who has a shaved head.
Oh, and like right front row, right
front and center, bro. Like right in front. Like he couldn't. I feel like for all night, like up until that point, he was dying to make that joke.
Probably
dying to make that joke. But not saying I'm defending him, but I feel like he wouldn't have made the joke if he knew the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I watching other people talk about it.
Because like I said, they're friends otherwise. Like, why would he want to make them feel bad?
Well, that's the thing. I was watching people talk about it, and Jada, as soon as it happened, she started becoming like the spokesperson for it. And on her the Facebook show or whatever, like the Red Talk Table Talk, whatever. She talks about it on there. So and like you said, they're friends, so I feel like Chris Rock to some extent would know that she has it, and so he's making a joke because, they're friends. It's just friendly banter. It's not like he's being an asshole. And you could tell from how he's making the joke, he's just doing it they're friends or whatever. So it's when I realized that, I was like, you know what, it makes no sense really for Jada to be that upset about it, because she also, I forgot how long ago it was, posted a video basically saying that she has it and she doesn't care what people think about that bald head because she's okay with it. And she's she's proud to have this.
Yeah, Amber Rose is bald. She's hot as fuck.
But that was the thing. It was even though you have this, you made a video, didn't age well because of this, saying you didn't care what anybody said about it, and you're okay with having it, and that's what matters. And then you're always talking about it, and you're a spokesperson for it, and all that. And then your husband's friend, which you're probably friends with at this point too, makes a very, and it's a pretty innocent joke.
Literally what happened.
Mean about it. He's literally just like saying, "Oh, hey, you look like you could make the second movie."
Yeah, he literally said, "Hey, Jada, G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it."
Literally, like
that's all he said. He didn't say, "Hey, Baldy, how's that disease going?"
Yeah, like
that would have deserved a slap. that would have deserved a slap.
It 100% would. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make, like, now that I have more context from like other people and like obviously like the videos you sent me and all that, it's kind of like it makes no sense why you're so offended. Like, maybe something happened earlier in the day, so like you're just not feeling anything. But like for Will Smith to do that, I don't.
It was a little extra. Yeah. So initially he made the joke, and then they pan over to both of them. Will is in the back of his seat laughing, and then Jada rolls her eyes, and then it cuts to like a frame of Chris, and he's just like, oh, like he start like obviously people booed him for that because they're like, come on, man, that's fucked up, and he was like, what? It's whatever, I'm moving on. And then about that time is when Will Smith got out of his seat, started marching up which isn't a long walk at all. So any time between like the 5 maybe 10 seconds that he talked after he made the joke, words could have been exchanged between him and Jada or something. But he didn't get up immediately because it was not like there's another angle and they really were not that far away. But he got up. Yeah, Will got up, marched up to the stage, and I've seen people online like be like, why didn't Chris like see it coming or try to defend himself? And it's just like, if you look at the clip, he doesn't know what's coming. He thinks that Will's going up there to like crack a couple jokes himself, because like I said, Chris is a comedian. Will's a comedian. They're both comedians, so he's just like, oh man, that's my buddy coming up here. He's gonna throw some shade too. Threw something else. He threw a hand right across his face, open palm, whap.
It's just so left field. It just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. So I can't help but I don't know. It happened, and then he walked off stage, like tightening his tie back up, walking back down, and he's just like Chris cannot believe it. Like he's just like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like you just hear him a dozen times. He goes, wow, wow, wow. And everybody else in the audience was thinking that too. They were like, wow, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're like, it's not that serious.
And then he sits down and he says, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
And I don't know, I feel like this is a great thing to like mention. It's probably everyone's seen it. But like, got a pair of lungs on him. The microphone on the stage can pick up Will Smith from in the crowd. Like even though like it is walking distance, you gotta be pretty loud for the mic to pick you up from over there,
It's a big open room. I feel like if it's echoey enough, it can pick up anything.
Well, everyone was quiet, but I'm just saying.
Because it picks up the claps and the laughter and stuff and everything else, too. You gotta think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, even like when they have people come up, even when they're singing and people are clapping, like when they were, I didn't like it, but like when everyone was singing the, We Don't Talk About Bruno.
Yeah.
People were clapping and laughing and just enjoying the show right next to everyone with the mics. Like, it was picking it up, but not to the extent that it was overpowering them speaking. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to be pretty loud for it to pick you up from where you're sitting. Like, he's not sitting super far away, but you're sitting a pretty good distance. That for it to pick you up from behind the mic, you got to be yelling pretty goddamn loud. If the mic's not like if the mic was facing him, I'd say like, yeah, that makes it a little more. But like the mic isn't anywhere facing him. I don't know. He was really loud. Plus, I think, aren't they? He went up on stage, so he's gotta have like some kind of audio pack on him, no?
Not at the time.
Oh, that was also weird. Like him crying, winning the award, talking about how like he's like, I don't know, like this, so happy. And
Yeah.
Bro, just
So. Yeah.
crying about.
So. Yeah. Prior to the incident happening, how do I say this? So I'm losing my train. My train of thought is crashing right now. Where did I leave off? So yeah, he smacked him, said, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth," and then like Chris reiterated, Wow, dude, it was a G.I. Jane joke," and then he repeated himself and said it even louder with bass in his voice. And then after that, it was funny because Chris like looks at the production and he's just like, "Are we still going?" And he's just like stuttering, kind of. He's like, Yeah. He's like, "Anyway," and then he goes on to announce the best documentary after that.
Pretty good recovery though, for all that business.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, and then later he was nominated for Best Actor and he won Best Actor and then got an Oscar and did a speech for it. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole situation. Since like that happened on Sunday night, so it's Thursday now at the time of this recording. So since then, Will has apologized. Let me bring up his apology so I can.
I feel like
Yeah.
He want to go to a party right after too. Like he went.
Yeah, so he won the Oscar. He was just having the time of his life. Actually, before he won the Oscar, and after the whole slapping incident, there's actually footage and pictures of like Bradley Cooper, Denzel Washington, Tyler Perry, like comforting Will Smith and like being like trying to calm him down because he was pretty hot after that. Oh, that's hot. That's hot. But yeah. And people bring up old clips. I think that's unnecessary to like bring up old clips of like Will Smith being like, "Hey, violence isn't the answer," because I feel like he really does stand by that. But like, even me, like in the heat of a moment, like I'll be wanting to like hit somebody or like just do something unreasonable. Like we're all like that. Like, I mean, I don't know. Not everybody's like violent, but like we all have our crazy thoughts in like the heat of the moment type thing.
Thing is like, and they're not wrong to like think it is that like you were just laughing, which means you decided to get that angry for your wife. I'm not saying you can't get that angry for your wife, but like, you know what I mean? Like, just take it into consideration, not just where you are, but like the context of the joke. Like, he's not, he's not disrespecting her. He's not belittling her. He's not making fun of the fact that she has it. Like, he's literally just making a joke. Like, hey, you could be in. Like it's a very well, I want to say it's not that harmful of a joke. You going from 0 to 100 the way you did and put your hands on somebody over what, like it was one joke. It's not even like he was
not even from like 0. Like he went from like a complete like different emotion to another.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
he went from laughing to be like furiously pissed off. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like so it's just like. You can't expect people to like the people that are like on his side confuse me too because I'm like, why are you on his side? He's not defending. I'm
not on anybody's side. I think it was fucked up for Chris to say the joke, and I also think it was fucked up for Will to hit him. So I think it like cancels like what happened. I'm not taking anybody's side. They were both wrong.
No, I meant the people that are taking sides that are like Will is right, Will is wrong. It's like it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. But like, you just like thinking about it, thinking about the type of guy that he is. It doesn't make sense for him to just suddenly be that mad, especially for like I'm not saying like Jada can't be that mad. If she wants to be butthurt, then let her be butthurt. She's already said it though, billions of times. She talks about it all the time. For somebody who says that you don't really, and obviously like you're allowed to still be like insecure, feel the way you do about it. But like for you to sit there and say like, "Hey, I'm okay with people like making jokes about it. Like I'm good. I know that they're not being mean about it." And then your husband's friend does that exact thing in a very, very mild joke, and to get that upset about it, and then to have your husband get way upset about it for you, to the point where he goes to his own friend to slap him. It's weird. Like it just like for somebody like for both of them that are always like, oh, we believe in peace and blah blah blah. It's like, why you thought it was fine to let him go up? Like you saw him getting up, you couldn't stop him. Like you were like, oh no, I'm gonna let him do that. I'm gonna let him get up and do whatever the heck he's gonna do because it's fine. He knows I'm upset about it. Like it wasn't that bad of a joke. You didn't die. He's not even making fun of the fact that you have it. He's just saying, hey, you look good. You probably look good in a movie. Sure, I'm technically making a joke of the fact that you're bald, but like I'm not making fun of the fact that you have, alopecia or whatever it's called. I'm just saying, like, hey, you're bald. Equivalent. Here's there. You know what I mean? Like, I get it if it really bothered you.
Yeah.
If it bothered you that much, then yeah, Chris owes you an apology. You shouldn't have let your husband get up and smack his own friend because you were upset. That's just where I'm at. I'm like, I don't really care at this point if you're right or wrong. You're wrong for hitting somebody. Sure, you can be wrong about the joke, but like you guys are friends. You know, like you've been friends for years. I'm not saying like you haven't heard this joke before, I guess, in like private, in like their own like, personal lives. Maybe you didn't like that he did it in public, but like I don't like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't anything that was belittling you or disrespecting you. If you heard about it, okay. But come on, I don't know. It just, you made your husband look stupid. Like, that's what I'm upset about. I'm like, you really let somebody you care about and say you love do that? You look stupid now.
They say alopecia is a disease, but like I'm not seeing like any other like I looked up like symptoms of alopecia, and it looks like it's literally just hair loss.
Yeah, it's I believe it could also be like genetic, but it's just hair loss. They're not sure where it comes from. They think it could be genes. They think it could be like stress. They think it could be like a bunch of things. They don't really know. It's just you lose hair in either spots or all of your hair. Like it's just it very much depends on you as a person. It's not the same for everyone. I believe for her it was in spots, so she just and like the spots got bigger, so she just decided I'm gonna shave it all off. Okay, when you shave it all off, you can wear a wig too. Like it really doesn't matter. Like it does matter, but I'm saying like when it comes to like if you want to have some hair, actually it's a lot easier now because you ain't got any hair to worry about like doing stuff to. Like you just have your head. You can
Yeah.
your head and your scalp and all that.
Dude, my hair's going gray, and I'm telling you, like, that's the final straw. If I start balding, I'm shaving.
Gonna wipe all of it off.
I'm gonna shave all of it off. The beard is coming out.
Lumberjack.
Yep. But like I thought alopecia, like they keep saying, oh, it's a disease. It's a disease. It's not funny.
It's classified as a disease, yeah.
But like I'm looking at it, I'm like, it doesn't say anything about pain or like anything else, like skin marks or like something detrimentally like wrong with you. It's literally just, oh, your hair falls out.
Eczema technically, it is a disease because it's a skin disease. It's very easy to treat. Same with alopecia, it's very easy to treat to an extent. But just because it doesn't cause you pain doesn't mean it still doesn't cause you to have issues. It does still cause issues. So
Huh.
it's not hard to classify a bunch of stuff as diseases. If anything, I think it's harder to label something as just an illness. For the most part, almost everything is a disease to an extent, except for like allergies. But even allergies, you can have an intolerance to, or you're just completely allergic to it. So like people that like Dad, he's lactose intolerant, which means he can have it and he's fine. He just shits a storm. Whereas like if he was allergic to it,
So a disease isn't something you can inherently like die from all the time,
yeah, you don't have to die from it to just have it. So,
or like life-threatening in any way.
Yeah, so like technically.
See, when they said it was a disease, I was like, oh shit, there's something wrong with her. But then I was like, oh wait, her hair just fell out.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, yeah, like not 100% the best example, but I use it like to explain to people like how a disease works. Diabetes. You can die from it 100%. Like it
You can. If you don't watch your what you fucking eat.
Yeah, but for the most part, especially if you take care of yourself and go to see a doctor and like you're doing everything you can to keep yourself healthy, you're fine. Like it's like, you know what I mean? Like you can literally like let your diabetes get to a point where like it is untreatable, or like you basically can't come back for it, or you're able to treat it to an extent so that way you can stay here longer and it's manageable. Like that's how I use it, because it's a very good example of it being a disease that can kill, but also being a disease that you can just have and you're fine. I don't have it. I'm not saying you can be fine, but if you're trying to understand what could be classified as deadly or not, technically it can or can't be deadly. Cancer, unfortunately, is a disease that everyone knows is deadly. Like, yeah, you can treat it and you could possibly, survive. Very dependent on your body, everything you've done and whatnot. So, it's just very dependent. It's on how your body reacts. Plus, you never know, because you could also get, like, alopecia and have, like, something else that also causes, like, hair loss. I guess cancer could cause hair loss too through treatment. Stress, eczema, I believe, like if with enough scratching you can cause your own bald spots because you're just scratching so much from your dry skin. If you're not taking care of your hair, head. Depending on like how you deal with stress too, you could pull out your hair to the point where you just straight bald spots, and then you can have alopecia too, and then like there you go, now you're picking at your head and causing, even worse problems.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know.
So, when was this? Mm-hmm. A day or two ago, Will Smith put out an apology on his Instagram.
For Chris Rock, right? Chris?
Yeah. It reads, violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's... It was the day after, so this must have been Monday. At last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable, inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job. But a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line. I was wrong. I am embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I would like to also apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all the attendees, and everybody watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been otherwise a gorgeous journey for us all. I am a work in progress. Sincerely, Will. He's a work in progress and he's pushing 60. Jesus.
I don't know. It's just, I'm not saying that he doesn't need to do a public apology. No, like technically he doesn't really like. I guess yeah, the Academy can be like, oh, I'm sorry for my behavior and all that, but like we didn't need that apology that you were giving to Chris. Like we didn't need it. Like I personally, I don't need it. I don't need to see it. If you just said like, hey, we watched it, and Chris was like, yeah, we watched it, that's good enough for me. I don't need to see. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. Even if he privately apologized, like, and people were like, "Oh yeah, Will Smith apologized," and they'd be like, "What? Release the phone call? I don't believe it." Like shit like that.
Yeah, that's the only like thing.
So it's just like, okay, I'm putting it out there for everybody. Chris, I'm sorry. Academy, I'm sorry. Everybody that saw that shit, I'm sorry. It's not who I am. And a lot of people, everybody online, or at least on Reddit from what I've seen, is painting Will as like this like undercover bad guy. But like a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but like some of those people even like credit like Jada as like the bad guy, like she's some kind of like master of puppets, like behind the scenes. She's like manipulating Will into like doing all this crazy stuff for her, and like, you know, like just in it for the money and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, you guys are reaching. Like, it's one thing to like pick a side over like something that crazy that happened on TV, but it's another thing to be like, oh, it's the victim's fault. Ultimately, it's like, whoa, what are you doing? I don't know.
I can see where people are coming from, because if you remember that whole entire
I don't even want to talk about that on here. People keep bringing that up too, and I'm just like, okay, it's funny. It is funny, but I don't even want to like intertwine that kind of that situation into with this one. That's all memes. But yeah, we're all aware of what happened. If you're not, then Google's a thing.
Just, you know, I don't disagree with them. I'm just saying that like, they're not entirely wrong. They probably feel that way. It's like,
everybody, when you're out in the public, like, people are just gonna have opinions about you. That's just the way it is.
I mean, like I said, I kind of get it. Not entirely.
I honestly don't know enough about her to like have that kind of opinion about her.
Yeah, same.
Like, it's like, okay, she's Will Smith's wife. She's bald. She's bald because of her disease, which we recently found out about. I bet nobody except in Will's inner circle knew that shit until recently.
No, people knew about it.
Not everybody. Now the whole world knows about that shit. I didn't even know about that shit.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, if you follow her on Instagram or like her social media, if you listen to her on her Red Table Talk thing, you would know.
Okay.
No, yeah,
but how many people is that really?
I know.
Compared to everybody that saw the slap.
If you don't follow her, if you don't follow the Red Table Talk stuff, you're not gonna know.
I know, yeah. I didn't even know. They were like, oh, she has alopecia. I'm like, what the fuck is alopecia?
Yeah.
I'm like, it must be something awful. And then I looked it up. I actually looked it up just now. Like, they said it was a disease, so I thought it was like some horrible thing that's happening to her.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, literally just baldness.
You also gotta remember that, like, technically, regardless of how famous she is, technically, I mean, in my opinion, she's only really famous because of her husband and her kids now, to an extent.
Oh, yeah.
For her, and it makes sense, especially with the, you know, time that she was born in and, like, raised in. And it's still pretty relevant to, like, today. It's a beauty standard thing, so of course she's gonna feel some type of way about it.
Yeah, insecurities.
Like he's allowed to be upset about it. But again, it's your husband's friend that he's been friends with for God knows how long. I highly doubt that the guy doesn't know you have it to some extent. Will probably does talk about it or has mentioned it. Which is probably why he thought, oh, I can make this very harmless joke. Like, I mean, harmless to me. You know, whatever. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. He probably wasn't expecting to get his, fucking.
If the slap didn't happen, nobody would have got that joke. I guarantee you, nobody. Like if she would have just rolled her eyes and that would have been the end of it. Like it would have been like maybe somebody would have saw that and been like, "Huh, I wonder why he made that joke," and then they look it up. But otherwise, people would have just been like, "Ah ha ha."
It definitely for sure would have.
Ah ha ha.
Yeah, shouldn't be making fun of her. She has it.
There's always going to be that, but the slap is what blew it way out of proportion. Yeah. It blew that shit up. Oh my god. I'm telling you, if he just made the joke and moved on, nobody would have even known the Grammys were on last night or on Sunday. I guarantee you. I didn't even know the Oscars were on. I don't watch the fucking Oscars.
I didn't even know the Oscars.
And you know what's crazy about the Oscars? You know what's crazy?
They have commercials for it. I'm like, what? I didn't know that this was still happening.
You want to know what's crazy about the Oscars too? What? That same night, Samuel L. Jackson got his first Oscar ever, and I didn't learn about that shit until yesterday. I love Samuel L. Jackson, and I'm not. That was his first Oscar ever. It was like some honorary one too. It was like a really special one.
That's okay. Well, if it's a special one, I think.
Yeah, but only like 3 people have gotten it ever, so it's pretty special. But like he got an Oscar for, every movie he's ever been in, every piece of community service he's ever done. Like it was like a big deal, and like people that probably would have been headline news for the Oscars if at all. Like, oh, Samuel L. Jackson gets his first Oscar. It's like, yay! But the slap happened. Everybody calls it the slap. The slap. It's got a name now. That's the slap of 22. Yeah. The slap of 22. Yeah. If that didn't happen, like that would have been a pretty boring night. Other than, I mean, I thought Samuel L. Jackson getting his first Oscar ever was pretty cool. I love him as an actor. He's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It really is. But like, I don't know. At the same time, it's like, I don't know. What you're doing a lot. Doing a lot for. I feel like that's something that, especially with like, how they, like I said, the way they both promote themselves and like what they believe in and all that stuff. I would expect that to be a conversation or something, like off stage, off screen, not like still walking up on stage and doing all that. But now that's something. Well, the internet has something to play around with now, so
yeah. And like I said, like I don't know, people are gonna paint Will as this bad guy or Chris as this bad guy, but from what I've noticed, people are more taking Chris's side over anything.
Probably.
And then there's like a minority of people that are just like, no, it's actually Jada that's the bad guy. I'm like, I don't know about all that, dude. I don't know. I saw it happen. It was crazy. Am I taking sides? No, I don't care enough. I don't care enough. It was funny. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought the joke was funny. I thought the slap was funny. So I think they cancel each other out.
It worked out. It's an even Steven.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Speaking of weird, remember what I was telling you about earlier in the week? So I'm trying to transition. But I do have to pee though. Oh god, this sucks. Trying to find it again. Yeah, so earlier this week, or I guess this was going on last week as well, but I wasn't aware of it. There's this up and coming streamer, and they're Valorant streamers. They're two friends, and the one is getting super famous. Tarik, he's a Twitch streamer. And he's got this really close friend of his named JasonR. In case you guys haven't heard of these guys, they're Valorant streamers. And I guess Tarik does his own thing. His main thing is Valorant, but I guess he does some variety here and there. But for the most part, both of their things are Valorant. They're Valorant pro streamers. But people have been noticing strange behavior from the lesser known streamer JasonR. There's clips of him getting into a game of Valorant, hearing somebody in the voice comms or noticing that they are a girl or a woman, and he will not pick a character and let the countdown go all the way down, and then they call it dodging the match, making it so that everybody else has to re-queue and wait to get back into a game. And the clips are saying that, oh, it's because he found a girl in his game is why he's dodging these games. And there's also proof of him intentionally going out of his way, not playing with other girl content creators or not playing with girls in general, and just making weird comments and a bunch of weird stuff. And so earlier this week on Tarik's stream, he found out live on stream that I guess he, out of nowhere, or people were coming into his stream and saying things like, "Oh, JasonR this, JasonR that. What do you think about what's going on with JasonR?" He hadn't talked about it at all because he doesn't want anything to do with it. Obviously, understandably. So he just banned the word JasonR in his chat, at all. And anybody who talks about the situation, he just bans them, just gets it out of the way. And he thought he was doing the right thing by not talking about it, because obviously there's proof of him doing this shady shit. And he's just I can neither defend or I can't defend this guy, so I'm just gonna not. But he's also my friend, so I'm just not gonna talk about it. Later down the line, he figures out that JasonR calls him out on Twitter or fucking on his stream or whatever, and he called him an L friend, basically saying he's a shitty friend. He took L as in loser, you're not that good of a friend, you're a shitty friend, is what he's saying. L friend. And so Tarik finds out that he said that live on his stream. He was like, "Yo, Jason did not just call me an L friend." So he invites him into the call, and they talk about it, and they bicker about it for a fucking hour. And I sent you the 12-minute version. I watched the entire hour. And when I say I have never heard somebody repeat themselves so many times in different ways and say the exact same thing that doesn't make sense over and over and over again, I don't know. It's just
lots of deflection.
And hold on, let me find someone summarized the fucking shit. Where is it? Hold on, I'm still looking.
I have a challenge for all of
Okay. Oh yeah, so someone summarized it. They were like, Jason Q&A. Are you dodging? Like, they got straight into it. Like, they were like, they had a little bit of words like, hey, what's going on, man? Hey, what's going on? And he was like, I'm just going to say it straight out the thing. And he said, are you dodging women? And the base, he rambles on and on about some shit. And he's just like, no, my game and PC crash all the time. And then he asks the question again, are you dodging women? This is all just a summary, by the way. This isn't the entire argument, but he said, are you dodging women? Yes, out of respect for my relationship. It's like, okay, that's a little bit of a better answer, but still kind of weak. Still kind of a weak excuse. Are you dodging women? No, I've played with women on unrated and customs before. It's like, are you a sexist or misogynist? No, but you chose to be a girl about it. How am I an L friend? You are not defending my character. How am I an L friend? I don't want you to defend me, but you should have said I have met Jason and he's not a sexist or misogynist. How am I an L friend? You met me and my wife. We are not sexist in our person, in our in-person interactions. So obviously we can't be sexist or misogynist ever. Okay. How am I an L friend? You're neutral and that's fine, but you can't be neutral because you aren't defending me, but I don't want you to defend me. And that like I said, I watched the entire hour of the argument, and that's exactly how the fuck it went.
It did.
He keeps
the 4-minute version you sent me was exactly the same.
He kept saying, I don't want you. It's not about defending me, bro. It's about, and then he keeps saying, you could have gone on your stream and said, hey, I know that Jason isn't all these things. And it's like, that would be defending you, bro. That, like, what you're saying I should have done is defending you. Yeah. And I can't, like, literally the proof that's out there in the wild. Like, there's no, like, he's like, I'm not saying you're a sexist or misogynist, but I'm also not saying that because there's proof of you being weird online. Yeah. And I think it's weird. That's why I haven't been talking to you. That's why I've been banning people who are trying to talk about you because, you know, I also consider you my friend, but like, I'm waiting for this to blow over. That's what said he was doing. He's like, I just want people to forget about everything that's going on with you, and then we can go back to like queuing together and like being friends and like all that shit. But he turned around and was like accusing Tarik, it seemed, of you know, not using his bigger platform than him to like give him, I guess, clout and you know, defending him. Like, he wanted him, like, he keeps saying, I don't want you to defend me. It's not about defending me. It's like, but you want him to. You say you don't want him to defend you, but that's what you're asking him. That's ultimately what's gonna make you feel better. And you know that's gonna fuck him over if you continue to act like this and keep using him as a crutch. Like, oh, my famous streamer friend is gonna get me out of trouble whenever I get into it. It's like, that's not how this works, bro. Like, you can't, like, take some fucking responsibility.
Matter of, like, you're not answering me. I hope you're aware. Like, you're not defending yourself very well. Like, that whole you met me and my wife. You know we're not like that. Like, that's the equivalent of a racist being like, yeah, but I have a black friend.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. I was.
No, that's what, you know what I'm saying. Like.
That's the same argument. Like, I can't be racist. I have black friends. What?
Like, you can still be racist without realizing that you're.
9 out of 10 people in America, like, no, not are racist, but like they have either met or are friends with someone of color. Like, that's not saying anything. Like, and
you're not special.
Yeah.
It's just I don't understand what he was trying to do with it. You know, like you're saying, I'm not a misogynist, not sexist, I'm not blah blah blah, because it's been proven in my VODs and on YouTube and Twitter and blah 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 that like I've played with girls, but 9 out of 10 times I would dodge. So you're basically still admitting, I'm not saying that he said that, but you're basically saying that you're like, I play with girls, but yes, it has happened, but I don't do it all the time. Because that's what you're saying. I don't do that, and I have done that. It's because of my internet, which bullshit. Because if that was for a fact, your games and your stream would lag a shit ton. Not, you know what I mean? Like your stream would be lagging. You would have choppy frame rate. That doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like you can't put this on your internet if your internet can't even back you up. You know, like.
Yeah.
Anytime anybody's like, yeah, I'm lagging, I'm blah blah blah, like you would see it throughout the whole stream. It wouldn't just be because your game decided to just, oops, we accidentally left this game. Like that's not like you don't leave a game pre-lobby. You know what I mean? Like if you're in the game and it happens, different story. It'd be really hard, not really hard, but like it'd be very difficult to say 100% you're choosing to leave. But pre-lobby, when, you know, you're getting in there and you're picking stuff and you're like, oh shit, there's a girl on my team. I'm sorry. That's, you have to choose that. The game, like, if the game lagged out, the whole thing would just close. It wouldn't just be, oh, we just accidentally left this lobby and, I'm gonna queue for another one in a couple minutes, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like. And
speaking from experience, when your game crashes or your computer crashes and you're in a game of Valorant, you have enough time to turn your entire computer back on, open the game back up, and if it was your entire computer, your entire stream would go down, my guy. So that's also proof.
Like, it makes
even if your game just crashes, you have enough time to open the game back up and get back into the game. There is no whoops, I have to get into an entirely new game now. So that's a weak argument.
Also, the whole entire, well, I played with my wife too. Oh shit, Sherlock, forcing, she's, what, like, you know, why wouldn't you play with your wife? She's your wife. I'm not saying you still can't be misogynist or sexist to her. You still can be. But, like, it just wouldn't make sense to use her as, like, I don't know, a valid reason? Question mark? Like, she's not even an excuse. She's just your scapegoat. You know? Like, you're not, like, that's not a point. You're like, do you play with other friends that are girls? Sure, but not all the time. Okay? You play with your wife? Sure, but not all the time. When you play most of your games, how many times do you leave the games when girls are in there? Pretty often, but half of the time it's because of my internet. Okay, so we're still pretty 50-50 here. You're still saying, most of the time, I'm not playing with girls, because it's a choice. Not because, oh yeah, it is actually my internet. You know? Like, you didn't defend yourself with your friend. You're getting upset at your friend for literally saying, like, hey, it's not that I wanted to, like, it's not like I wanted to not be involved, but it's a situation where you need to defend yourself. You know, like let's say it was between you and me, and I was saying that to you.
Yeah.
And I was streaming. People were like, hey, you know about Weezy and da-da-da. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be like, yeah, he's my friend. I could defend you all I want, but it's not my problem. You know what I mean? Like, I could talk out of my ass if I decided to defend you. It wouldn't change anything. People would be like, yeah, but it still doesn't prove anything. They're not wrong. If I stayed silent, people are still gonna go after you. So it doesn't matter what he said. You know, at the end of the day, like, regardless of banning, muting, talking about it or not talking about it, people are still gonna be upset at you. You're trying to put the whole situation onto him to avoid all this backlash on you because of the simple fact of the matter, you don't play with girls. You don't want to. just say that. I'm not saying that you probably lose a lot of fans.
Charging battery.
You probably have a lot more incel fans. Probably. But, like, I don't think it matters to you. Like, don't try and toss the blame onto your friend when you can't even defend yourself correctly. And your whole entire argument is, you should have defended me and said that I'm a better person than what they're saying. You shouldn't have, like, your friend shouldn't have to say that. Your character should say that. People shouldn't have to come up to you in your own stream, on the internet, anywhere, and say, hey, your character's questionable because you've proven that it's questionable. You know? If it was a couple instances and people are like, hey, yeah, you know, do you know that your friend is purposely, like, dodging games with girls in it? And it's like, yeah, but he doesn't do it all the time. Like, literally, the amount of times that he does it is probably minimum. And in those cases, I mean, like, he's probably dodging those specific people because of their usernames, because he's probably played with them. Let's be honest, girl or boy, there are toxic people in any video game. If you recognize a name and, like, the person, you've played with them before and you know how they play, you would dodge too. But you can't explain dodging or avoiding every game that has a girl in it simply because, oh, internet, or, I don't know, I lagged out for a second. Like, I don't know.
It's all just like sexism, right?
It is.
And it's no secret that, you know, gaming in general is a male dominated thing. And it has been for a really long time, so the amount of toxicity that comes out, or racism for that matter, like, mostly just comes out, like, a lot because, you know, it's just more dominated by, like, men, and so it's just hard for women to, like, find a safe space in, like, a lot of gaming communities because there is like a lot of toxic masculinity and, like,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's rough. It's a rough area. And it's been like that forever, like, as long as I can remember. Like,
Yeah. Plus, it's not always, like, easy in general to, like, it's like, I want to say pretty, but I can say that I've seen a lot, besides, like, Valorant, like, outside of Valorant, in general, most games, especially, like, VRs, you know, or games that are, like, you know, CSGO, Valorant, stuff like that, Call of Duty. They will probably say a lot if you ask them enough times. They're not comfortable talking. Most girls, and I've done it too, it's like when I played Overwatch and I played comp, I wouldn't speak. I would wait to hear how the team talked before I put my mic on. And a lot of girls do that. They will wait for the team to, like, some girls don't, but I'm not saying, you know, that they're the exception. You know, just from what I've seen in, like, personal preference myself, most people wait. We wait to hear how the team sounds and how the guys talk, because I wouldn't want to be stuck in a game, and if I got stuck in the game, whatever, but I wouldn't speak if I heard how these guys are talking, you know?
yeah.
I don't want to put myself in a position where it's just like, one, now they're going to troll the game. Two, they're probably going to throw the game because I'm in it. Three, I'm going to have to be harassed, whether it's sexually or not. And, you know, like, four, trying to have fun, not trying to, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so, you know, you dodging the games, you don't have, I'm not saying that he doesn't have a valid reason, but genuinely, the only reason that guys like him tend to have is that girls are worse at games.
And that's what people are saying.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying that it's bullshit, because there are professional girl gamers who are really good at games, and it's proven, and they have the stats, they have the views, well, not the views, they have the VODs, and they have videos on YouTube and everywhere proving that they're that good. Of course,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get every girl gamer being a freaking god, but you're not a god either.
Yeah.
You can't make that point of, oh, it's just because of this and that, or like again, it's because of my interest. Like, just say you don't like playing girls. I 100% would rather that this guy just say,
He's scared he's gonna get outperformed by a girl in Valorant. Pepe laugh.
like, I'm not saying like he has to say this like word for word, but if you just told people, yeah, you know what, I don't like playing girls, I would take that. You don't even have to say that you're sexist or misogynist. I would like you to, because it'd be more clarify. Clarify a lot things a lot more. But you just say I don't like playing with girls. I 100% would take that over you deflecting and trying to cause shit with your own friend because your friend is saying I can't defend you when I don't agree with what I've heard you say before. Because he was saying that. He's like, bro, I can't defend you. I don't agree with your viewpoint. I can only defend what I know about you. And even then, it doesn't prove anything. It doesn't help any argument I would have with chat or other people on the internet. Because he's not wrong. What can I, as your friend, say to defend your character when I don't even agree with your own opinion?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a nice guy. Okay. He's a nice guy with shit opinions and morals, whatever. That doesn't do anything. Like,
Yeah.
just, you're already thrown under the bus. Just keep rolling and get out. That's it. Like,
There's nothing more to it.
stay under there.
Yeah. The whole thing was just so weird, like, listening to it. Because, like, even, like, halfway through, like, hearing him, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna listen to the whole thing and hear him out. And as I'm going on and on and on, I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, this guy is, like, sick. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, not only is he, like, dodging girls in games, like, that's proven. Like, that's, like, we're beyond that point by the time of watching.
Like, probably montages of it happening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. with some dubstep playing in the background too. Yeah, that's like a whole thing. And then there's this whole thing of him just talking in circles, blaming Tarik for everything that's happening to him because he didn't use his stream or his platform to help him out. And also like trying to like play the victim card by being like, oh man, by you not defending me, you're automatically saying that I deserve all these death threats and shit that me and my family have been getting. And he was like, first of all, nobody knew about the death threats until you just fucking said that.
Yeah.
And I was like, second of all, no, that's not what he's saying at all. Nobody deserves death threats for anything they do. And I'm just like, what the fuck? This guy is like on some like hardcore copium right now.
He's just not making. I don't even want to say like he's making excuses. Like, you're just.
He is though. He's like, it's almost like everything that's happening to him is somebody else's fault in some way or another. It's never just like, yeah, I was being shitty, or yeah, I fucked up, or yeah, I could have done this better. It's always like, it's Tarik's fault for this not happening. He's a bad friend, or I'm not dodging women. You can't prove it, and then people are clipping it, and it's just like, look at this out of context shit. This is so disgusting. It's like, what? Like, bro, the proof is in the pudding.
Literally. It's a very unfortunate situation of like, dude, be honest. Okay. Yeah, just say it. Like, you're fighting it so much that you're kind of making it hard for people not to believe it. You know? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then, like, your argument with your own friends is still the same thing. You're still strawman. You're still just, well, you know my wife, you know me, you know I still play with girls. And it's like, yeah, but are those girls your friends? Like, your wife's friends? Like, or your friend's friends? Like, you're not. Do you even have any friends that are girls? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you, like, what's your point here? What are you trying to say? Like, you're not telling us anything. You're just reinstating the fact that you don't want to reply to what everyone knows because you're trying to make it so that way it's not a thing. And then instead of at least trying to get your friends on your side to some extent, you're fighting them.
Yeah.
Has his wife said anything? I feel like
I don't know. All I know is on Monday he put out a twit longer. It says, taking accountability. I was avoiding certain online situations out of respect for my wife, Stephanie. When I was younger, I was not a good person to her, and I take accountability for my actions that led us to this place. I was trying to avoid potentially toxic situations, not wanting her to be put through drama. I will no longer be avoiding these online situations, and I am sorry that my intentions were misconstrued by my actions. There are so many lies about me out there, lies about Steph who don't deserve this. There are people making false allegations of out of context information. I wish nothing but peace and love for people and ask for a touch of understanding. I am sorry.
what? What?
It might just be me not believing him,
Yeah.
but none of this at all sounds like you're taking accountability for anything.
Wait, read it again one more time because I heard something and I just wanna hear it.
Yeah, there was a couple of tongue twisters in there, so I had to slow it down for myself because I'm a terrible. I read at a second grade reading level.
Okay.
I was avoiding certain online situations out of respect for my wife, Stephanie. When I was younger, I was not a good person to her, and I take accountability for my actions that led us to this place. I was trying to avoid potentially toxic situations, not wanting her to be put through drama. I will no longer be avoiding these online situations, and I am sorry that my intentions were misconstrued by my actions. There are so many lies about me out there, lies about Steph who don't deserve this. There are people making false allegations out of context information. I wish nothing but peace and love for people and ask for a touch of understanding. I am sorry. And that's all.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it doesn't really sound like it's labeled taking accountability, but I'm just hearing like half of it was just like, oh yeah, people are lying about us, people are doing this, people are doing this. It's like it still looks like he's pointing fingers. Like it kind of like it looked like he was like dipping his toes into the water of accountability at first, and then he just totally turned around and just said, "Fuck that! I'm not jumping in all that accountability. Got me fucked up."
Was the fact that he acknowledged. Fucking Christ, I feel bad for this woman. He says, "I was a shit person to my wife when I was younger."
Yeah.
You're not saying I was a shit person when I was younger in general. You're specifically stating that to a woman who now, I don't know how, is your wife, you were a shit person to her. That's not really, I mean, technically, yes, that would, in my book, would be taking accountability because you're admitting I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
But you're also still not saying anything that's an apology. I'm not saying you have to apologize, because obviously, technically, yeah. It's not something that people can, again, there are videos to prove that you do that thing, but like it's not like it's a for sure. Oh, 100%. He's an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, got that, get it, whatever. But you're again, you're not apologizing for behavior. You're not saying, "Oh, hey, I don't meet, when I was younger, I was like this, so I tend to have habits of like." You're not doing that. You're not apologizing. You're not taking accountability for what you said you were gonna do. You're also, for sure, one, not apologizing to your friend for being an asshole. Two, you're still not addressing anything. You just again threw your wife into the situation, and you apologize to her. Which, why does she need the apology? I don't know how that connects, but okay. Like, I just, so many points were missed, and like when you got close to almost hitting the right point, you turned around and said, "Oh, that looks dangerous. I'm not gonna touch that. We're just gonna take a big U-E around that, and we'll come back to that point in let's say next week. Next week maybe? Okay. Like, I don't know, make it make sense. Who was this tweet for exactly? Like,
I don't know.
like, who is this for? Like, I would like to. Do I deserve this information? No. But I'm just saying that I would probably definitely like to know, because it don't make any fucking sense. Like,
Yeah.
you're talking out of your fucking ass so hard that like it's just toxic gas. And really, I don't know. You're ugly. Your behavior is not attractive, and I feel bad for your wife. That's about it. That's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it seems like Tarik did everything he was supposed to do. Not talk about it. He's like,
Yeah.
like the main thing. They just, I don't want to talk about it, so I'm just not gonna. And then he, at some point, he made it seem like that's all anybody wanted to talk about in his chat. And
Yeah.
it's understandable that he banned the word JasonR in his chat just because he was so fucking sick of hearing about it and he didn't want to talk about it. And for him to not talk about it and be like, I don't want to get involved, and say, and for the guy that this is all happening to turn around and say, you're a shitty friend for remaining neutral in this situation. It's like, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
That, like, I was listening, I wanted to hear his side, and I was just like he kept saying, it's not about defending me, it's not about defending me. You could have gone on your stream and took it and said exactly this, and you put, like, I don't know. And he almost, like, it seems like he's very manipulative too, JasonR.
He knows what he's doing.
Because he even got Tarik in the video, like, when they were arguing, he was like, you could have said this exact phrase on your stream and you could have helped me out a lot, bro. And then Tarik was even like, you know what, maybe you're right, maybe I should have said this, so I'm sorry, I guess. I mean, I still don't think I'm a bad friend. And he was like, no, I still think you're a bad friend, or L friend, as they kept saying. You're an L friend. I was like, what?
I
was like, this guy.
For one, like, how is he a bad friend? For just stating the truth? Like, is it his fault that you're a shit person or you have shit behavior? Because again, if it's just a habit, I'm not saying that like you chose to do that, but for the most part, that's a learned habit. Acting the way you are, it can be a learned habit. But if you genuinely think that way, it's not a habit. You think that way. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing anyone can do to help change that or help fix that. Like, you just are. I don't know, because again, what were you expecting from your friend? What did you want him to do? What is he supposed to defend when he keeps telling you that he doesn't agree with your mindset? Like, pray tell, sweetheart, what is it that you want? Because I don't know. In the thing you just read, I still don't know. Does anybody know what you want? Besides, like, maybe your wife, and I don't even know if she's actually, speaking on it or whatever, but, like,
I don't know.
does anyone know? Does anyone? I feel like no one knows.
I don't even think God knows.
Fucking wish God knew.
Yeah, so
Somebody.
after overlooking the entire situation, it has come to my personal judgment that JasonR is a weirdo.
Yeah.
I think in this specific situation, Tarik did everything like the best possible that he could have for himself, which, of course, when something like this is going on, your intentions are, oh, I'm going to stay out of it because this is going to look bad on me if I try and say anything. So I'm just going to be like, nope, not talking about it. Not talking about it. He doesn't want to go out and publicly condemn it, which he ultimately had to do because, like, Jason kept poking him to do it. He was like, hey, you're a bad friend. Hey, why don't you say something? Hey. And it's just like, fuck off, dude. Like, you're being weird, and that's why I'm not playing with you, and and I don't know why you're saying all these things about me.
The other thing is,
I get it.
Yeah, like, you're not helping your friend in any position to want to help you when you do that. Like,
yeah.
I don't think anybody would help their friend when their friend is in a situation that they're clearly not wanting to be in.
Yeah. I think ultimately the lesson here is, don't be a dick to your friends. Don't be a dick in general. Stop being a dick. Stop it. Smack your hand. No. Stop that. Stop it. You know who you are. You out there with the untied shoelaces. You there with the jeans on. You know who you are. Stop doing it.
They probably wear jeans,
I like wearing jeans.
Jeans are comfy.
But I think another lesson to be taken from this is we should learn to embrace women in the gaming space as well, rather than just shove them aside like JasonR.
I don't know if it's about embracing. I think it's more of just respect.
Respect.
Because again, like I said, there are plenty of women that are also just as toxic. You ain't gotta embrace them bitches. You should respect most bitches.
Just treat everybody like a person. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, you ain't gotta treat people certain ways, like, just because everybody's the same. Everybody, we're all pink on the inside. Like, you gotta we're all pink on the inside.
Oh, pink or red?
Pink.
Red?
Meat is pink.
Not when it still has blood on it. You already like,
I guess.
Dry? What the heck?
You just reminded me of the fact that our bones are wet. Ugh, that makes me cringe.
I'd have to say it like that.
Well, you made me think of it.
He told you to think that they're wet. Why do they gotta be wet?
Because you said there's blood on the meat. And if there's blood on the meat, there's blood on the bones.
Cut into it, your body's gonna bleed because you're cutting through veins. That's why you bleed. If there was a way to make it so that way you don't bleed, you wouldn't. Because again, even when like you peel off flesh, you're tearing tiny veins. Blood's gonna come out. There are veins in our meat, which is why you have to clean the meat.
I'm cringing so hard right now.
I'm just saying. Not technically. I don't want to say technically you're wet. Maybe you are. I don't know. Your brain, you could 100% say your brain is wet. It's sitting in fluid. So,
Is it really? Is it just floating there?
yeah, cerebral fluid.
Oh,
That's how. So, like, concussions and all that. It's the reason, like, your brain sits in like a special fluid. I forgot what it does, but like it basically helps not only protect it, but also like keep it secure in a way, because it's just mindlessly floating in there. So there's about, I don't know, like, what was it, like 5 centimeters, something like that. There's a certain amount, centimeters and millimeters of space between your brain and your skull. The reason people like with like concussions or get dizzy very easily after banging their head is because their brain literally went from, it like sloshed into a wall. And it's to protect it, because it's not only a protective thing, but it's also to keep it from just sitting on like your skull. So your skull has fluid in it, which is weird to me whenever they show like in movies when like they cut open like a skull or whatever. There's like no fluid, and like there would be some fluid. Like it wouldn't be like a ton, but there's some fluid in there, and it would be like this like milky white. So like if you ever get like this like clear ish milky white fluid coming out of your nose, go to a doctor. You're leaking cerebral brain fluid out through your nose, and something serious is happening to you.
really?
Yep. It's actually really dangerous for that to happen.
Oh,
Hi.
I think I told you about this in your Discord, but I have a buddy, because you were talking about, COVID and like losing your
Yeah.
taste, and then I brought up the fact that I had a buddy in high school who got a concussion playing football, and a couple months later, and he doesn't outright say that was the cause, because he's gotten multiple CAT scans, like, brain scans, whatever the fuck, MRIs you want to call it. And the doctors say they don't know why, but he can't taste. He woke up one day without being able to taste in like 10th grade, and still to this day he can't taste, which is crazy. So I think it's like concussion. I think that's the only, like, he got a concussion and he had to stop playing football because it was so bad. And then a couple months after that, he couldn't taste. I'm like, that the concussion's the only thing that could have caused that.
Sense. Well, honestly, yeah, it could be. It really could be. Because like anything that happens to your freaking brain can cause you to lose anything to happen. So like you can concuss yourself and basically lose motion in your arms, or get numbness in your like any. You could even have it where
The brain affects everything.
Yeah, like it can even come to a point where like, oh shit, I occasionally get these dark spots in my eyes, which is basically you just having like a huge ass blind spot that you're just not able to actually see because of what happened. So like, yeah, like I said, like I told you, like anytime somebody gets a concussion, it's just easier and easier to keep getting them. Like to the point where like some people that have gotten too many concussions, when they sleep, they have to sleep with like a specific special head thing, because if your head even fell off your pillow, you can have a concussion. Like that's how.
Really?
Yeah, it becomes easier and easier every time. So as soon as you get one, easy to get another one. Like Bean, she told me, like, I think it was her friend or like somebody that she knew, something like that. Who really weird. Um, she got so many concussions because I think she played like lacrosse or something like that, which is, whew, my god, lacrosse is an intense game. teacher bumped into her in the hallway, and just from that little bump, she ended up passing out because of how many concussions she's had previously, to the point where like now she has to sleep with like special headwear.
Hey yo.
Yeah, it's a really scary thing. Like it's really not like you don't have to worry about it if it doesn't happen to you.
It's
That's why with like so many types of different accidents, they tell you not to get up. Like if you're in a car accident, try not to move if you know you're not in danger. But if you can, just like army crawl out of the car and away from it if you can. Never get up. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what's broken. Some people have even come into an ER, have like gone into the ER, walking on broken bones because they're just that disoriented, and have passed out too because the amount of blood that's pumping into the brain because of internal damage. Which could also cause you to have an aneurysm, stuff like that. Like, it's very easy for anything to happen. This is why people ask, like, oh, if you fell, did you fall? Like, they'll ask, like, where did they fall? Like, did they, and if you say, like, their back, they'll ask you specifically 100%, where on the back, do you know where? If they fell on their head, do you know what side? Do you know how they fell? What happened? Can you see if there's a visible bump, or can you see, like, just don't move their head, but can you just see what's happening? Can you open their eyes, see if, like, their eyeballs dilate or whatever with the light in it? Anything.
It's crazy to think, like, how...
Delicate?
Well, yeah, delicate, like, fragile the human body really is. Like, some people, like you said, concussions and stuff. Like, I remember I had a bunk bed that only had the top bunk, when I was a kid, and like it was like a work in progress. I think my dad was like building it or something, but it didn't have railings on it at all, so it was just the mattress up there. So I would like sleep up there and roll off and fall like 4 or 5 feet to the ground in my sleep.
Jesus Christ.
So who knows if I've been concussed before and like never figured it out.
Well, what did you fall on?
Fucking hardwood floor.
Yeah, you probably did.
that I would
You don't have to ask. You never know.
imagine, like waking up like just like to that shit. I don't have to imagine it because I'm thinking about it right now. It's like having a falling dream, except you are falling for like a couple of seconds.
I fucking hate falling dreams. I want to punch him in the throat. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We have to do this right now.
It's like you're having a falling dream and then someone throws a bookcase at you. That's what it feels like. Like that. It's just like ah boom.
I fucking that sounds
Going from dead sleep to that. Like,
no, thank you.
it was bad. I eventually learned to like stuff myself between the mattress and like the back of the wall. That way I wouldn't roll all the way over.
I learned how to, protect myself correctly.
Yeah. And then eventually I got a new bed, so it didn't even matter. But yeah, that happened a few times. But like, it's crazy because like, there's people that like go to war and then they like get like a couple of like gun wound shots and like they survive like explosions and this and that and the other, and then they're fine. They're just like, yep, just heal it up for a couple of days, or they get a broken bone. Yep, I've broken multiple bones, this and that and the other. And then there's people that like one little thing like a hairline fracture in their wrist like causes their entire arm to bruise up, and then that causes like blood clots and like shit that like will affect them for like the rest of their fucking lives. Like,
oh yeah.
Or like skateboarding, and like my coworker told me that he was really into skateboarding, and he said the amount of like half pipes and ramps that I've like jumped like 10 feet off of and either landed or didn't land and I'm okay. Like, and the fact that I have like some friends that like did like a kickflip or like an ollie like off of like a 1 foot, 2 foot railing, and they fall and shatter their fucking ankles. Like, there's no way. I'm like, yeah, I guess it's about placement and landing, right?
Oh yeah, like
But
the few people, I still want to condone it, unless like you know what I guess you know what you're doing. Um, the only people that I'd be like go off, do whatever the fuck you want, would be people that know how to parkour because they know how to land properly. Like they genuinely have learned how to roll off of their ankles, land on like their shoulders or their back properly. Even if they're about to land on their head, they know the proper way to turn the body. Obviously, do trial and error. To keep their body safe. Like you're still gonna get a bruise, you might get a couple cuts, or quite a few cuts, whatever. But you're probably definitely a lot safer than you were before.
I've
That kind of training.
I've heard that Johnny Knoxville over the course of his career has gotten so many concussions that after like 1 or 2 of his last concussions, he said he went to sneeze one time and his eyeball popped out of its socket.
Oh.
Yeah, and he was freaking out. He was just holding it there and he was just like, I don't know what to do. So he was like, I can't go to the hospital like this. And so he just like by himself, like just manipulated it back into his face. And then he was like, oh, it's fine now. Okay, I just gotta hold my eye whenever I sneeze now.
Oh, that sounds horrible. Oh no. Oh.
Like instead of covering your mouth, he covers his eye so that it doesn't go flying out like a projectile. Because there's air behind your eyes, you don't notice.
No. That sounds horrifying. Oh, now you just gave me like these weird things to feel like I have to worry about.
Just don't get a concussion. Easy.
Concussion, like I'm just gonna worry that my eyeballs gonna pop out because like, oh yeah. Hey.
It didn't happen. He's gotten so many like head trauma incidents that like his whole body's fucked up now.
How fucked is that?
Got me fucked up. We should probably end. Jordan. Sorry, Jordan. All right. Is there anything you want to say to the people?
Make sure you eat.
Make sure you eat. You heard it here first. Explanation point Ukraine in the chat for the stream watchers. For the audio listeners, you can go to twitch.tv/TheWeezus and type in explanation point Ukraine, and it'll bring you to https://ukrainewar.carrd.co, and it'll take you to a website. It's got all kinds of links and information and ways you can help out with the war in Ukraine. I heard talks about a peace treaty in the works, but who knows if that's gonna go well or not. But yeah, Ukraine still needs a lot of help through these tough times, so do whatever you can to help. Really unfortunate, but with all that being said, I hope everybody has a good week. I hope everybody's staying healthy and happy, and we will see you next week on this channel because Jordan flaked on me again. Yeah. Are you kidding me? He's like, I have work.
Right here.
He's like, fuck you, man.
All right, but
All right. Still left. It's all right. It's all right. I enjoy doing the podcast with Erlene. But with that being said, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.